Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is the root chakra. And I was just watching a Joe Rogan podcast, and he's got a bunch of archaeologists on, and they're talking about, I don't know, he's got a bunch of archaeologists debating some type of finding and how it was created, and just they're debating on the abilities of the civilization that allegedly built the structure they're debating on. Anyways, what they're talking about is at that point in history, was that civilization able to? Sorry, I'm fixing my nails. I got to be at work soon. They're debating on whether or not that civilization was able to. Was that advanced yet as far as hunter-gatherer or sustaining an agricultural society, which is, like hunter-gatherers, they're going out and hunting for their food, they're gathering things that have been grown in the wild, and they're hunting wild game. But an agricultural society is able to build a structure and plant their own food, right? So that got me to thinking, and I was telling my friend last night, I said, man, I'm kind of tired of talking about chakras, because it's kind of like, like so spiritual, like she's out there. But, it's actually really important to have the root chakra in order to establish and sustain wealth. So, I mean, these chakras are really important in how we show up and how we move in life, because I'm thinking to myself, as I'm listening to this podcast and getting ready, and I don't really know what I'm going to talk about. I'm just, doing my makeup, kind of getting ready for work, getting ready for the video that I was going to shoot at the same time. And I never prepare for these, but maybe that'll be my next step of evolution. But yeah, so I'm kind of thinking, before I had my root chakra activated and spinning, I was a hunter-gatherer. I was totally a hunter-gatherer. Like, the only thing that I was worried about was having a place to sleep that night. I mean, sometimes that night, sometimes it was hotel rooms, or, I lived a really crazy life. I used to be a hustler, and, sometimes I would not hustle, and I would just, barely get by, but, for fear of going to jail or whatnot, or having just gotten out of jail or prison or whatever the case may be. But, yeah, I was in a survival mode, and because of childhood traumas that I was perpetuating, I was unable to sustain any type of lasting stability. I was unable to plant my roots, so to speak, and create something that I could build on. So, I'll be 32 in March, and I'm just now getting to where I'm holding down a job. I actually started a business a few days ago, and I'm making the payments on that and all the paperwork and the tax number and whatnot. And so once I have that business on the side, I'll be able to actually start saving, because it's really hard for me to save right now at the amount of money that I'm making. So I'm barely getting by, but yeah, so with my root chakra activated, I'm able to be in school. I'm in school for astrology in Magavedic Academy, which is incredible. It's worth every penny. But yeah, I was unable to hold down a job, create lasting relationships, unable to have anywhere stable to live. I mean, anything associated with the root chakra, I couldn't unlock within myself, because it was broken. So, and another thing that I haven't been talking about is what these chakras feel like. So what the root chakra feels like for me, okay, so Sadhguru says that you have 114 chakras. 2 are outside the body, 112 inside the body. And if you have the main 7 functioning, well, then you can live a healthy, productive life. But if you have all of them open, then you can be everything you ever wished. Okay. So, what does the root feel like? For me, it feels like the sparkling energy going up my legs. And it's like right about around where the knees are. Yeah. It just feels like vines, like sparkly vines going up your legs, I guess. Okay, and the other chakras that I haven't talked about, but they felt like the hands and the third eye feel like, okay, I felt like there's a lot of feelings for all of these chakras, and they're going to be uniquely tailored to you and your experience. So depending on, your culture, your ethnic background, your upbringing, what part of the world you're in, so the masters that come to you and the feelings that you get are going to be tailored to you uniquely. So yeah, the hands and the eye, I think, are connected, and they feel like, whenever you hit your funny bone really hard and it just feels really crazy. Okay, well, it feels like you hit your funny bone in those areas, but minus the pain. But it's so intense that it's almost painful. Yeah. It's so intense. It's really a really intense feeling. It's almost so intense. Yeah, it's almost painful because it's just strange. It's a strange feeling to get out of nowhere, especially when you haven't hit anything. So, at least not physically. But might have hit some spiritual highs, some spiritual monumental moments. But so yeah, and the crown feels like a flower is sprouting on the top of your head, the 1,000-petal lotus, right? That's one of my favorite. Feels so amazing, and you can feel energy above it as well. Sometimes all the way up to the clouds, to the sky. And the crown and the root are connected. Yeah. Because I feel like the main chakras within the 7 or 8 whatever main chakras, I feel like they have an opening in the front and an opening in the back, and I feel like the crown is open up top and at the bottom. So I feel like the crown and the root are connected, and yeah, they're connected. They feel so great. I love it. And yeah, so the root. So as my root chakra is activated and spinning, I'm able to finally create situations that I can build on, that I'm able to start building a stable life. I'm able to start thinking of my future. Thank God. Thinking about, plans for the future and how to have a stable, solid life. And, just with the building blocks, brick by brick. From hunter-gatherer to agriculturist. And build a building, build a home, build a stable, solid life. Because if you don't have stability, then how can you advance spiritually? How can you have any type of foundation? You can't build a temple on a foundation of sand. So anything built without integrity will crumble. So like finances that I acquired in that old lifestyle weren't sustainable. I just wanted to do a quick disclaimer, just so we're clear. I don't know if what I'm experiencing, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just sharing my experience. So I don't know if these chakra experiences and sensations are the truth. I just know that's what I'm experiencing. So I'm just trying to document it and maybe help some people along the way. Also, I'm not claiming to be wise. This is just my pursuit of wisdom. I just love wisdom. So I'm just documenting myself pursuing it and trying to understand it, trying to interpret it best I can while giving guidance, I guess. I don't know. This is just my experience, my uniquely tailored experience. And I'd like to think that I've made every single mistake so that you don't have to. Maybe I'll do a series and do some story times on some of the some of the crazy stuff I've been through. But thank God that I, burned those karmas, right? So, yeah. All right, so I had to turn that light down. I think it was too bright. I think that's a little better. A little better? Yeah. Anyways, okay. So, well, I had an experience at work, and so a few weeks ago, there was a lady in my line. I'm a cashier. The lady in my line, and I always ask everyone how they're doing. I ask every customer how they're doing, or I say hi, how are you doing? And this lady, she said, I'm good, but I'll be a lot better once I can get my back to feeling better. And she was buying all these heating pads, like these pain patches for her back, like hot, like thermal pads that you stick to your back like a sticker, and it's supposed to kill the pain or whatever. Well, yeah. So I said, oh, well, do you mind if I say a prayer for you? And I meant that I would say it later. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to pray for her on the spot, but I guess that's how she took it. She said, oh, yeah, okay, sure. She just stood there looking at me, like waiting on me. And I was like, oh, I don't really know how to pray, but I didn't say that, but I'm just thinking, oh, and I was like, just said the first thing that I could think of. But, I was actually, before she came to the store, I was thinking in my head, I was listening to a healer, and she said the point is to bring down that Kundalini energy and to know that I am God healing another. So, we're just bringing the power of the Almighty in and healing each other. It's not really like one person doing it. It's the belief that someone has, the connection that another has, and the Almighty. So it's kind of like a triangle, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. So again, back to the grocery line. So I didn't really know what to say. I didn't really plan on being put on the spot, but I was like, oh, well, I pray that you receive the healing from the Almighty. And as soon as my mouth opened, okay, I established this connection. As soon as my mouth opened and I was looking at her, the energy just came over me, this Kundalini electronic fucking incredible energy that I love so much and I strive to connect with on a daily. Anyway, I'm used to experiencing it myself, but I had no idea that it could be transmitted, at least from me to someone. I knew I've received it from other people, but I didn't know that I could transmit it. But anyway, so yeah, clearly by the look on her face and her thanking me, she experienced this energy. So, and she's like, oh, wow, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And she pulled her sleeve up and she said, yeah, I must need to charge my my healing crystals, huh? And I was like, yeah, sure, go charge them. So anyway, yeah. Today at work, she came through my line, and I was wondering what happened to her. She came through my line and she said, I really appreciate you praying for me that day. My back hasn't hurt since then. And I was just like, and as soon as she started talking to me about it, the energy came over me again. And I was like, wow, man, I just love this energy, And she's like, yeah, me too. I really love kindred spirits. And I mean, that was just a pretty interesting experience. And so I feel like that, the healing energy and the Kundalini and all that shit's connected, it's intertwined. And I'm really glad that I could share it with someone, or that we could share it together, That was really, really fulfilling, So yeah, back to the root. So I had to basically become celibate. And so that's just like a full circle type situation for, being single and being alone on Valentine's Day. Sometimes you have to sacrifice having union or intimacy with another in order to figure out who you are and really connect with your higher power. For me, I had to, stop giving out my Kundalini energy, my life force, my my creativity, my power. I was giving it away to men who weren't worthy. And that's a lesson that I really had to overcome. And, that energy is supposed to be going up your spine into the higher energy centers. So I'm really glad that I could share that energy with someone in like a higher dimensional way, and I'm just so humbled to hear that her back has stopped hurting since then. And, I hope to have more experiences like that. Anyways, y'all have a good day. Bye-bye. So in conclusion, I just want to outline a vision from a great master, Sri Yukteswar. See him behind me in the middle? Yep. Oh, that picture's crooked. I gotta fix that. Yeah, that one in the middle? That's that dude. Yeah, he in Autobiography of a Yogi, when Paramahamsa Yogananda is complaining about not understanding the Bible, Sri Yukteswar explains that the human body is the tree of life. And so when you think about it, like women are giving birth, men are, ejaculating semen or whatever. It's like a plant, right? They yield fruit. So it's kind of like, you can be fruitful or foolish, as Kevin Gates says. You have a choice on the type of energies that you entertain, the things that you do, the information you're consuming, the food you're eating, because these are the roots. So what are we taking in, And, just think about it. We're trees. We're trees of life. So be fruitful or foolish. Really gets you thinking. There's some information that I channeled on this, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that, I was on this train and I was headed towards, God, trying to figure out God. And when I gave into temptations, I was being snatched off the train by these trees that had like fishing lines, and they would snatch me off. And then I would see myself like come running out of the woods in the clearing, running to jump back on the train. And it's like, it doesn't matter how many times you get snatched off the train, as long as you jump back on, right? Get back on your path. Continue and strive to do right. Strive to be better. Strive to make good decisions. Strive to be healthy and good and pure and clean. It doesn't really matter where you've been, but as long as you continue to make good choices now, good, healthy choices, you can be fruitful.